From America's heartland, it's Prodigy Bowlers Tour. Celebrating junior bowling and elevating junior bowlers. Today, episode 150, the 2023 Kansas City Open September Points Tournament. 5 players have advanced to the TV finals, and one of them will emerge as this month's champion in Division 5. Let's meet them. Bowling in the number 5 position is Willow Burns of Easton, Kansas. She'll meet our 4 seed, Adam Wilson of Lawrence, Kansas, making his second appearance on Prodigy. The winner of that match will face the 3 seed, Allison Deere of Excelsior Springs, Missouri. That winner will face the number 2 qualifier, Brianna Wanina of Shawnee, Kansas. And the winner of that match will bowl for the title against our tournament leader, Briley Wolschlager-Monty of Olathe, Kansas. One of these 5 kids will survive the stepladder finals to become a KCO champion today and will sign the Coveted Trophy Pin on the Season 8 premiere of Prodigy Bowlers Tour. Hard to believe we're entering Season 8 of Prodigy Bowlers Tour already. But how about the Kansas City Open? They're entering Season 29, and it's going bigger and better than ever. Today, you'll see the stepladder finals in Division 5, and in episode 151, you'll see the championship round in Division 1. That comes in a couple of weeks. For those of you who are new to the KCO and to Prodigy Bowlers Tour, I'll tell you that there are 5 average-based divisions at the KCO, with Division 1 being the 200-plus average players who bowl scratch. Each of the 4 lower divisions include a 20-pin spread of averages until we get down to Division 5, where the averages are 139 and lower. And Divisions 2 through 5 all bowl handicap. But don't let the Division 5 entering averages fool you. These kids will be working just as hard to win as the kids you'll see in our next episode in Division 1. Here's a quick look at how we arrived at the stepladder finals. As is customary at the KCO, the kids bowl in 2 squads, the A and B squads. Everybody bowls 6 games of qualifying, 3 in the morning and 3 in the afternoon. And as you can see, Briley Wolschlager-Monty jumped out to an early lead in the morning block. In fact, all 5 of our finalists were there in the top 5. Colton Von Gotten, who was 4th, and Connor Boob, who was tied for 5th, both slipped a bit in the afternoon block, allowing Willow Burns to sneak up into solo 5th and Adam Wilson to climb into 4th place. One of the newcomers in the field, Noah Trex, came and introduced himself to me and admitted that he'd been watching Prodigy for quite a while and wanted to take a selfie with the old guy. And I know he struggled in the afternoon, but he's going to come back better than ever. But now, without further ado, let's get you down to the lanes for the action in Match 1, where we kick off Prodigy Bowlers Tour Season 8 with our 5 seed, Willow Burns of Easton, Kansas, taking on our number 4 qualifier, Adam Wilson of Lawrence, Kansas. You may recall seeing Adam once before on Prodigy. He and his dad Russ made the show last March in Belton, Missouri at the Adult Youth Doubles event in Division 5. They were both impressive, so you know Adam is getting coached up by his dad, who is a 230 average bowler. And we see Michael Strack, one of the Kansas City Open board members, directing these kids. And it's going to be 9-year-old Adam Wilson who throws out the first pitch in Season 8 of Prodigy Bowlers Tour. And he throws it right in the pocket. Look at this guy. You can't do it much better. Little 2-hander over about the 4th arrow, out to about 5 at the break point, and just hooks it right back in. All right, now Willow Burns. Crossing over and gets a little unlucky. That ball deflected around the 7-pin, and she leaves a split, the 5-7. Here's how you make it. Put the ball on the right side of the 5 pin and slide it over into the 7. And well, she gets the wrong side of the 5 pin, so that's 9 out in the first frame. As you can see, we're adding her 22 pins of handicap into her score. And so it's all added in right there in the first frame, so you don't have to keep track of handicap the rest of the way. It's all factored into the score. Another crossover and leaves the 1-3-6 this time. Willow lives in Easton, Kansas, for those of you who don't know. That's about 10 miles or so, give or take, west of Leavenworth, Kansas, and about 8.5 miles southwest of Kickapoo. I remember when I was about her age, there was a soft drink on the market here in the Kansas City area called Kickapoo Joy Juice, kind of a knockoff of Mountain Dew. I have no idea if it's still around. All right, Adam working on a strike. Gives it plenty of room, a little too much. Doesn't quite get back, and he leaves the 2-4-5. Put that ball right on the 2 and 5, and you'll be golden. All right, he gets it on the other side. It can be done both ways. But that's a spare. And once again, strike spare to begin would be 20 in the first. We've added his 1 pin of handicap into his score as well. So a 10-pin differential now. Well, that one gets back to the pocket, but Adam Wilson, 9 years old. He'll turn 10 in February. I'm not sure what weight of ball he's throwing, but had a little deflection there. And he leaves the 5. And that shot will no longer be in his repertoire as he gets a little bigger and is throwing a little more weight. But he covers the spare, no problem. And Adam is off to a good start. Willow got started bowling because her mom and dad both bowl. We see that a lot with these kids. She crosses over and leaves that 5 pin. Probably the easiest spare in the rack. The pin in the middle, just throw your strike ball. And she gets it. And with that spare, she maintains her 10-pin lead. In addition to bowling, Willow is a tumbler, a gymnast. Now that one sailed wide on her just a little bit. She leaves the 1-2-9. This a lot trickier for a left-hander to make. A right-hander just throws it right in the pocket, right where you would want the ball to be for a strike, on the right side of the head pin. Oh, look out. That's trouble. So she whistles that one past, and the lead passes over to Adam Wilson. Well, Adam cuts right through the nose. That could have been a split. But he leaves just the 6-10. Adam's high game is a 205. He bowled his first ever 200 game on Prodigy Bowlers Tour back at the March Adult Youth Doubles Tournament when he shot 201 scratch. That was episode 141. Oh, hooks by the 6-10. So he hands the open right back to Willow. And with it, the lead. Spares always a big, big deal, especially for these Division 5 kids. I mean, really, spares are big for any division. As a coach, we talk about it all the time. But you don't see as many strikes with the Division 5 kids, so spares become even more critical. But Adam knows these adjustments to make for his single pin spares, and he covers the 3-pin with ease. All right, Willow has the lead. Well, made a pretty good pass at it. It just hooked a little bit high. Leaves the 10. This will test her spare making prowess. What she should do is move all the way to the left side of the approach. There you go. That's what she's done. And she gets the 10-pin. Nicely done. Willow's high game, a 178. She says her best moment in bowling came when she beat her mom by 42 pins. And she's going to get to shoot at the 10-pin once again. I don't know Willow's game well enough to know for sure, but it looks to me like she might be throwing a ball a little too heavy for her. Either that or there may be a fit issue. It looks like she has a little difficulty getting that ball into her swing. Oh, she didn't miss that 10-pin by much. But now the lead passes back to Adam. We've had a few lead changes already. Well, that one sailed by the head pin. And now Adam Wilson loses 4 pins in count since he was working on a spare, so that makes the match all even, assuming he converts the 1, 2, 4, 8. Here's how you do it. Put the ball on the 1 and 2. The 2 will get the 8. The ball will deflect over into the 4. Oh, he got a little lucky on that one. But you know, it's not how, it's how many. By the way, the action to our right on lanes 3 and 4, that's Division 4. And we'll recap how their stepladder played out when we get to the end of the show. Once again, hooking high. Could have been a split, breaks it up. Leaves just the 3-6. Loses a couple of pins in count, so Willow back out into the lead by a little. And I'll tell you what, Adam is a good little spare shooter. That bodes well for his future. All right, Willow. Well, she pulled that one, and she gets 4. The good news is she didn't lose any pins in count because she wasn't on a spare or a double. So if she makes the spare, it's as good as if she'd gotten 9 spare. How about it? Oh, a little unlucky. Once again, the lighter ball deflecting around the 5. So it's an open frame, and the lead once again changes hands. Adam, 9 pins out in front. Well, that looked like a pretty good shot. It just kind of jumped high at the very end. Broke up the 4-7-10, though. That's good. Willow looking at just the 4-7. Very makeable spare, especially for a right-hander. And she gets it. So this match looks like it could go down to the very end. Ooh. Almost very unlucky. A Brooklyn hit nearly left the 7-9, but something knocked over the 9 pin, and now Adam with just the 7. Pretty routine spare. Got to get up. Oh, he runs past it. Got to count that as an unforced error. I would expect he would make that probably 8 out of 10 times. Still a couple of frames to go. And he finds the pocket with that one, and no deflection this time. He drives out the 5 pin. Watch this. He'll give this one plenty of room out to the right. And it comes back and just gets the 5. That was big. Willow now with a 3-pin lead, working on a spare. Oh, man. How unlucky can you get? That was as solid a shot as you could hope for. And she leaves the stone 7. Gotta make it to maintain her lead heading into the 10th frame. Oh, and she makes the same mistake that Adam made on the 7 pin on the right lane. So Adam will take a 9-pin lead into the 10th frame. And Willow needs to put some pressure on him here in the 10th. A mark would be huge. Well, I tell you what, knocking over the 8 pin at the last minute made this spare a whole lot easier. A 1-3-6. If that 8 had been up, it becomes very tricky. But this, pretty simple spare for a right-hander. You just throw your strike ball. Uh-oh. 8 out in the 10th. And that gives Adam a 21-pin lead. He just needs good count. Well, that's not what he had intended to do, but it's enough. And now he can just have some fun and try to make this split. He's already got the match put away. 3, 4, 6, 7. He gives it a ride. A little wide with the shot. It's an open frame, but it does not matter. It's Adam Wilson who takes the first match. And now he will advance to match 2 to face Allison Deer when we return. All coaches talk about it, and it's never more relevant than when you've got lower average players. I'm talking about the importance of spares. In that opening match, Willow Burns had 4 spares, and Adam Wilson had 5, plus 2 strikes, for a total of 7 marks. Add about 20 pins to Willow's score for the handicap differential, and it comes down to just a few pins that separate the 2 players. It's a result that could have swung the other way with just 1 more spare by Willow. But that's why the KCO has a Division 5, to give these kids just starting out a place to compete. They'll get better, but this time Adam got the best of Willow, and now he's advancing up the stepladder finals to match 2, where he'll now face our 3-seed Allison Deer. Allison's mom, Megan, appeared on the March Adult Youth Doubles Tournament, and her sister, Olivia, bowls in Division III. So it's another active bowling family. And as you'll see, Allison does not run low on enthusiasm. But she's liable to have her hands full with little Adam Wilson. Adam's dad, Russ, was also on that March Adult Youth Doubles event that we covered on Prodigy, and he's one of the top average players of any age in the state of Kansas. And just like Allison, Adam has an older sister, Leah, bowling in Division III. So clearly, bowling is a family affair, and both of these families are proud of their kids. And I'm proud to have them on Prodigy Bowlers Tour. Allison Deere, the higher qualifier, had the choice of whether to start or let Adam go first. Allison will lead off. Sends that thing dangerously out toward the edge, but it hooks back. And she gets 7, leaves the 3-6-10. You want to put that ball right between the 3 and the 6. Best to shoot this from the left side of the approach, just like she's doing. Oh, she catches it on the other side, but that'll work too. All right. Little Adam Wilson moves over to the right lane. And just like his first match, he pounds the pocket with his opening toss for a strike. We'll have to take another look at that one. That went a little bit right of the 4th arrow, still out to about 5 or 6. Came in just a pinch high, but stuffed them straight back. Oh, how about that, messenger? What pin was this? I actually think this might be the 5 pin. Watch the 5 pin. It gets caught up in the wash, and then it comes back and rolls out the 10. There's one you don't see every day. A double to start for Adam. Allison through the nose, crossing over just slightly. Leaves only the 3. Spare 9 to start would give her 19 in the first. We've added her 5 pins of handicap, so that's factored into her score. And an easy spare. And Allison makes short work of it. Well, when I asked these kids, what got you started bowling? She said, I wanted to give it a try. And here she is. Well, once again, high. And once again, the 3-6-10. She left this in the first frame on this same lane. That's the way you'd like to make it, between the 3 and the 6. She made it on the left side in the first frame. Hey, whatever it takes. She makes it the same way again. Hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. All right, Adam, going for a turkey. And he's in the pocket again, but this time that lighter ball deflects around the 5, and this time the 5 has company in the 7 pin. To make the 5-7, move your feet about 3 boards to the left of your strike position. Throw your strike ball, and you'll put that ball on the right side of the 5. Well, he went for it boldly. He just got it a little too wide. It didn't quite make it back. So an open frame, and now Adam falls behind by 6. Oh, but he bounces right back, gets a lucky nosedive. Boy, this looked like trouble. Here's his footwork. 6-step approach. And you see him swing that ball out to about 5. It goes through the nose. He had the 7-10 looking at him for an instant there. But all's well that ends well. And Allison, once again, going through the nose, but comes out smelling like a rose as no split appears, and she's got the 10-pin. Move all the way to the left side of the approach and throw this thing over about the middle arrow or so. About like that. About like that. Good shot. I think she may be a little surprised she got that one. 10 pins are a little dicey for some kids. But she had no problem with that one. Well, it looked like she moved a little left, but it still went Brooklyn. But she gets the 10-pin to cave out this time. Watch this. I don't know what got the 10, but she sent just about half the rack over toward it. Watch this. Kind of a reverse blower. Everything moves right. And down go all 10 pins. Well, Adam, through the nose. Got the 3-6 to contend with this time. Move to the left. Try to cut down on the angle that would chop the 3 off the 6. Oh, he went wide. Chopped the 6 off the 3. So an open frame, and now Allison with a 17-pin advantage. And the pin setter has stopped working for a moment. And so while we wait, let's take a look at the KCO schedule for this year. Next month, we're in Gladstone. That's where Allison Deer bowls league, so she'll be on a home field advantage. November, we're back in Lawrence, Kansas at Royal Crest Lanes. In December, we return to Olathe Lanes East for the Adult Youth Doubles Tournament, the first of 2 of those. Then in January, back to Lawrence and Royal Crest Lanes for the January Points Tournament. In February, we're at Crown Lanes, the bowling center with the dinosaur in the front yard in Leavenworth, Kansas. March, we got 2 tournaments. First Sunday of the month at Olathe Lanes East for the Points Tournament. And then we go back to Belton, Missouri for the March Adult Youth Doubles Tournament at Aaron's Family Fun Center. Then April, back to Crown Lanes in Leavenworth, Kansas for the April Points Tournament. And then the final Points Tournament of the year at Revolutions Lanes and Fun Center in St. Joseph, Missouri in May. And finally, the KCO Invitational right here at Olathe Lanes East in Olathe, Kansas, the final KCO event of the year. And that's followed by the Prodigy Bowlers Tour Tournament of Champions, tentatively set for June 23rd. That's the Sunday after Father's Day, where we'll award the Coveted Trophy Pin, as well as the Charles Bostic and Hunter Moffitt Awards for the winners in the scratch and the handicap divisions. All right, we've got things operating back to normal once again, and so Adam Wilson, after a short delay, will bowl his 6th frame. Pretty good shot. A little heavier ball. I think that might have snapped out the 10-pin, but can't really complain about that one. You're going to leave 10 pins if you're a right-hander in this sport. You'll leave more 10 pins than any other spare. Better know how to make it. Adam hooks by that one. He throws a spare ball at his spares, but he's still doesn't have enough speed on it to really get it to just go straight. He might learn to come up the back of the ball and try to take some of the axis rotation off the ball. That's something I'm sure his dad will get around to teaching him. I have no doubt Adam is going to be one of these kids that we are watching for years to come on Prodigy Bowlers Tour. Oh, man. Well, we saw Willow have this happen to her in her match. A stone 7. I mean, you can't throw it much better than that. Right in the pocket. Stuffed 9 of them back in the pit, but the 7-pin stubbornly refuses to fall. And so Allison will move to the right side of the lane, go cross alley at the 7. And she takes care of it. Allison, who also plays basketball, says she wants to be an accountant when she grows up. Here's her reaction to making the 7-pin. She gave it a little hop. I don't know if that helps, but hey, whatever works for you. She's got a 28-pin lead. This time she hooks past the head pin and leaves the 1-3-6. Allison, her high game, a 213. And a 536 series, her best ever. Oh, look out. This one's left all the way. Well, can't make them all. That gives little Adam Wilson a reprieve. And he answers the bell with a solid strike of his own to say, okay, I'm not going away. Watch this. This is as good a ball as he's thrown today on Prodigy. Watch this. Out to that sweet spot around 5 at the break point. And you hit them there from that angle, and they have nowhere to go but down. He pulled that one a little bit left of his target, so it stayed in the oil longer. We're bowling on the house shot, where there's a buildup of oil in the center of the lane. It's drier on the outside. You throw it out to the right, and it'll hook back stronger, but he kept that ball in the oil, so it never quite finished. Oh, and he nearly chopped the 2-5, but he gets it. So he stays within 12 of Allison, who will move to the right lane now in the 8th frame. And she'll need a mark here to maintain her lead. And she misses left of the head pin once again. And now this spare, the 1-3-9, this one's no joke for a right-hander. You got to put the ball on the 1 and 3, but you have to favor the 3-pin. If you hit it right in the pocket between the 1 and 3, or a little high toward the head pin, you'll send that 3-pin to the right of the 9 and you'll leave it. You got to hit what I would say is light in the pocket. And she gets it. That's perfect. Well, I think we said at the top of this match that Allison does not lack for enthusiasm. Oh my, very nearly a 7-10 split. The 10 goes out very late, and she's left with just the 7-pin. Allison with a couple of fifth-place finishes last year on the KCO. She finished fifth at the April Points Tournament back in the spring. And then in June, she finished fifth at the KCO Invitational. So she's no stranger to the stepladder finals. Oh, look out. Oh, that just hooks off into the channel. And now we have an even match. Adam Wilson stepping up in the ninth frame, a strike to keep this an even match. And he gets it. Rips the rack to do it. Watch this. Adam will hit in the half pocket. And that ball, even that light ball, has enough juice on it to rip through and send that 5 over toward the 7. That, young man, is how it's done. Boy, when he gets older and he's throwing 15 or 16 pounds, look out. Oh, no! Well, this is the same split he left in the 10th frame of his last match. But by that time, he already had the match won. Here, he needs to make this. Here's how you do it. Send the 3 over into the 4 and hope it gets the 7, too. Oh, he gets just a little too much of the 3-pin. That's an open frame, and now here's another look at it. Look how close he came. Oh, man, that didn't miss by more than a couple of inches behind the 4-pin, but Allison just needs 7 pins and she wins. There it is. And she takes a bow. And why not? Allison with a strike in the 10th to wrap up her match against Adam Wilson, and she's going to be moving on to match 3. And that's where the handicaps start really getting serious. Through the nose, she gets 8. Leaves the 6-10. Doesn't matter. It's all academic from here. She's going to finish with a 172 if she makes this. And she does. So Allison dispatches little Adam Wilson, who had a great day today on the lanes. But it's Allison Deer who takes match 2, and she's moving on to face Brianna Wanina when we return. Allison's open in the 9th frame made this match super close. And when Adam struck in the 9th, it looked like he might win it at the very end. But up popped the devil with that 3-4-6-7 split. The same split he left in the 10th frame of his first match. But this time it cost him dearly, as it left Allison needing only good count to close out the match. So it's a 4th place finish for little Adam Wilson, and Allison Deer climbs the stepladder to match 3, where she'll now face Brianna Wanina. Bree bowls league with us here at Olathe Lanes East, and she's bowling in her very first tournament. So this is pretty heady stuff for someone who's just getting her feet wet for the first time in tournament bowling. Brianna had the choice of starting lanes since she was the higher qualifier. She has elected to let Allison start the match. I asked Bree how she was feeling coming into this, and she said, "I'm scared." Told her, "You'll be all right." Allison hooks through the nose and leaves the baby split, the 3-10. You want to fit that ball right between the 3 and the 10. hit the right side of the 3, the ball will deflect over and get the 10. But she gets the 3 a little too full on, and that's an open. So 9 out in the first frame. We've added her 5 pins of handicap. That gives her 14. Now, Brianna. And we told you Division 5, his average is 139 and lower. There is no limit to the amount of handicap they can have, and Bree just pounds the pocket with her first ball. And, well, bowling off a low average. She just bowled her high game ever yesterday, a 152. She starts like that, she might beat it this game. Allison, you better be on guard. Okay, this time it goes high, and Bree leaves the 3-6-10. And when you're a low average player, spares are usually the problem. So let's see how she does with this. Put that ball on the 3 and 6. The 6 will get the 10. A little indecisive about where to stand. She had the right idea, but the ball just hooked a little too much and took the 3 right off the 6 and 10. So an open frame, but she's got a big handicap to get her through this match if she can just hold on. But I tell you what, if Allison rolls more balls like that, she might just overcome that big handicap. That was a good shot. A little unlucky. She leaves the half 8. That is different than the stone 8. The stone 8, you chop the 5 off the 8. In her case, the ball deflected a little bit when it hit the pocket, and she knocked the 5 in front of the 8. But she covers the spare, and that's the main thing. So she keeps herself in this. You know, when you've got a big handicap to overcome, you can't overcome it all in one frame. You just got to chip away at it over 10 frames. I see players all the time, especially the Division I players, if they have to bowl against somebody with a handicap, they freak out. That's a big Brooklyn strike for Allison. But as I started to say, with the higher average players, when they face a player with a big handicap, it often gets in their head and they think they've got to overcome a big handicap differential right at the beginning of the match. They don't. They're a better player. They just chip away at it, and they can overcome it over 10 frames. Brianna hooks high and leaves the 3-pin. These single pin spares sometimes are tricky for these kids that are first starting out, but the 3-pin should be pretty easy. Just move your feet 2 or 3 boards left of where you stand for your strike and just throw your strike ball right over your strike target at the arrows. She's going to get it. Easy peasy. No problemo. Well, these kids in the KCO, they get 90% of the difference between their entering average and the top of their division, which in the case of Division 5 is 139. Depending on what their entering average is, that handicap can be quite a lot. Another high hit. Cuts through, leaves the 3. When the ball hooks high like that, assuming you're hitting your target at the arrows, you just need to move your feet left. Maybe a board, maybe 2 or 3 boards. And you might need to move your eyes at the arrow a board or 2 to the left. When you're bowling the house shot, You want to try to stay inside the oil line. But look at this. She's going to cover this 3-pin again. Like it's nothing. Well, that's how you become the 2 seed with a low average. You just keep knocking down spares. Allison hooks past the head pin and once again leaves the 1-3-9. Now she made this earlier. And as I mentioned that time, you want to put the ball on the 1 and 3, but you want to favor the 3-pin. If you hit a little too high on the head pin, you'll send that 3-pin right around the 9. Like that. So an open frame. And now Brianna's lead grows a bit to 51 pins. And Allison's going to have to start stringing marks. Wow, we've seen some close calls today. Another one that looked like it could be a 7-10 split, but she's left with just the 7. Good news for Allison. She needs to make it. You notice I didn't say she needs to string a bunch of strikes. Usually in these Division 5 matches, you can string a bunch of marks. You'll be sitting pretty. And she covers it. So Brianna working on a spare. Gets up in the 5th frame. Oh, look out. Oh, man. She just cut that one short, pulled it left, and clips off just the 7-pin. And as you can see here, you just shoot it like a strike. It effectively is a strike, just missing the 7-pin. Problem is she loses 9 pins in count because she was on a spare. So that hurts. But it won't hurt as much if she can make this. And she gets them all to go. And she didn't even see that 10-pin fall. She turned away. Tell you what, we were in league yesterday, and she turned her back on one of them, and a pin fell late. And I told her, never turn your back on them until old Iron Claws gets them. Watch this. She's going to turn around. She's got her head turned away when that 10-pin fell. She never even saw it. Oh, not again. Not again. Well, she made the spare before. See if she can do it again. Boy, you don't want to make a living shooting at this for a spare. How about it again? How about it again? She's a magician. Watch this. It's going to hook over to the left side of the head pin. Just get a piece of it. And she gets a reverse wall shot. All right, Allison. Better get going. Oh, no. Well, she has escaped without a split a few times, but not so fortunate this time. The 4-7-10. Yeah, we saw Nolan Nash make the 4-10 split at the KCO Invitational, so we know it can be done. How about it? Too much 4-pin. So another open frame. While Brianna is stringing marks, Allison gets 3 opens in a row, and that is a recipe for falling further and further behind. Crosses over, gets 9. It's not out of the wood for Allison. She could still get there. But she doesn't have much room for error. That's a solid cover right there of the 6-pin. And now Allison will sit and hope that Brianna gives her an opening or two. But no, Brianna carries a Brooklyn. And I'll tell you what, Brianna bowls league with Annalise Keeler. You saw her on our April Division 4 show from Leavenworth. She won the first 3 matches of that stepladder that day. She and her twin sister Hadley bowl league with Bree. And the Keelers' dad and their mom, both they're tournament bowlers. And Dad's a pretty good bowler. And he coaches up these kids. And I told Brianna and her sister, you guys are so lucky to have him there watching you and helping you and coaching you up. You listen to him this year, and you're going to be a lot better by the end of the season. Bree with the Greek church here. This is going to be trouble for a spare, but she's got a 47-pin lead with just a few frames left. Get all you can. And she gets 1. So that'll make the match a little closer. Now 29 pins separating the two. And if Allison can just stay clean the rest of the way, you just never know. Crosses over. She gets 9, leaves a 6-pin. She made this earlier without a problem. But again, when you're hitting your mark and the ball keeps hooking high or going Brooklyn like it's been doing, you got to move left. You got to get into the oil on the lane. There's a buildup of oil in the center of the lane, and if you can move left and stay there, the ball won't overreact. It's got to get right. Well, I think she knows that this may be drawing to a close, but hey, give it all you got here at the end. You just never know. I've seen strange things happen in this sport. Boy, that looked good for a long time. 4 goes out at the very last instant. If it had touched the pin setter, it would have had to have been reset, but it didn't, so she's left with just the 7. She's made it before today, so we know she's capable, but the stakes are a little higher this time. She must make it here to have any chance of winning this match. Oh, and it falls off into the moat. And with that, Brianna Wanina has just punched her ticket into the championship match here at the KCO September Points Tournament. She's going to be bowling for the Division 5 title in her very first bowling tournament ever. And once again, she misses well to the left. This time she clips off more than 1. Leaves the 1, 2, 3, 5, 10. But again, you shoot it pretty much like a strike. The one bad break you can get is to get the cluster of 4 and have that 3-pin wrap around the 10 and leave it. Yeah, she hit a little light in the 1-3, but it doesn't matter. She's already got the game won. So they're just going through the motions to get a final score. In the championship match, Brianna will be facing another player who's getting a big handicap as well. So we'll have a much closer handicap differential. Well, here's the spare that I was referring to earlier. For a right-hander, this is very difficult. The 1, 3, 6, 8, 10, really the best way to shoot it, especially if you have a light ball, is to stand at the extreme left side of the approach and try to put the ball on the left side of the head pin. She almost got it on the other side. But that's a 174 with her handicap. And I imagine she'll take that. Both these girls, 12 years old. They both turned 13 in the spring. Wow. Wow. I'm just floored by the fact that 3 times today we've seen a ball just hit flush in the pocket on that right lane. I believe they've all been on that right lane, and that 7-pin just refuses to fall. And even though the match is out of hand, I know she'd still like to make this spare. And she does. This time it does not hook off into the gutter. So she's going to be in the 140s, assuming any kind of reasonable count here. It won't be enough, but it'll be a solid 3rd place finish for Allison. I believe that'll be her best finish in the KCO. Fill it up. Well, she nearly did. That's 9. So a 144. But it's Brianna Wanina who's going to face Briley Walschlager-Monty for the title when we return. couple of splits put Allison behind the 8-ball early, and then 2 missed single pin spares toward the end sealed her fate. Meanwhile, Brianna recovered nicely when she clipped off just the 7-pin on her first ball in the 5th and 6th frames, but she covered both spares to keep the pressure on Allison. And even though Bree closed with 3 open frames, by that time she'd built up enough of a lead that she had pins to burn. So it's a solid 3rd place finish for Allison Deer. But now Brianna Wanina finds herself bowling for the championship against another young girl who's bowling in her first tournament. Briley Walschlager-Monty is another one who bowls here at Olathe Lanes East in our youth program. These two bowl in the same league together, and one of them will walk away with a KCO title in her very first time bowling in a tournament. We're about 20 minutes away from finding out who it's gonna be. And I guess I really should correct myself. It's not the first tournament for Briley. Heck, she won the U10 girls handicap division at the Pepsi this year. But it is Brianna's first ever tournament. It's Briley's first KCO. And as you can see, both players getting a substantial amount of handicap, although there's only 8 pins of handicap differential. Brianna's spotting Briley 8 pins. And Briley covers the 7-pin in her opening frame. So now Bree will move over to the right lane. When she was about to come on her last match, before she had thrown a ball on Prodigy today, and she told me she was scared, I said, don't worry, there's only going to be like 20,000 people watching. Her eyes lit up. But I tell you what, if she throws more balls like that, she's not going to have any problem. She doesn't look nervous to me. She will go cross lane at the 10-pin. And as you can see, at Olathe Lanes East, we teach these kids lane etiquette. She will wait for this fellow to go on lane 3. That's Division 4 over there on lanes 3 and 4. We'll recap their stepladder when we get to the end of the show. Oh, that thing looked like it was in the channel, and it hooked back, and she hooks by the 10-pin, so an open frame to begin. Well, Bree has been bowling since she was 8. So she's been bowling for about 4 years or so. Oh, that looked like a pretty good shot. It just hooked just a pinch too high at the very end, and she pays the maximum penalty, the 4-7-10. Not a lot of margin for error on this one. You just got to tick the edge of the 4-pin and slide it all the way across to get the 10. The ball will get the 7. Oh! Oh! Boy, she gave it a go. Watch this. She didn't miss by much. Oh, man, that was close. Briley playing way out there by the edge of the lane. As she gets bigger and stronger, she will learn that it's dry out there where she's laying the ball down. The ball will tend to hook almost immediately as it hits the floor. Out there, you want to move left and get that ball on the floor in the oil. More like she did that time. She covers the 1-2-4 with no problem and maintains a 27-pin lead. Look out. Well, somehow she got 5 out of that. But she leaves the 1-2-3-5-6. About a half a strike right here. Put it right on the 1-3 pocket, and we'll probably make it. Just like that. Well, Bree's got some catching up to do, but you can do it with just marks in these matches, usually. Ooh. Marks are a whole lot easier to get when you leave easier spares. Here she's got the 3-10, the baby split. Here's how you make it. Put the ball on the right side of the 3. It will deflect over into the 10. Oh, she gets it on the other side. Not the way we teach it, but every once in a while you get lucky and make it that way. Watch this. The ball's going to hook over to the left side of the 3-pin and backdoor it. Boy, it just barely got the 10, but a spare is a spare is a spare. Oh, no. Now, she did that in back-to-back frames in her first match. Clipped off just the 7-pin, and she made the spare both times. Can she go 3 for 3? Trailing by 31, she needs to. Can she do it again? No way. Way! Unbelievable. Well, once again, she lost 9 pins in count because she was on a spare when she left that big spare, but she covers it again, keeps herself in the match. Riley crossing over, missed the head pin, leaves just the 2 pins that she was trying to hit with the ball, the 1 and the 3. Easy enough to convert this, just throw a good strike ball right in the pocket. There you go. That's how it's done. Checking out her thumb and her fingers, making sure everything's still attached. Now she's working on a spare up in the 5th. Finds the pocket. And that ball just didn't have enough axis rotation to send that 5 far enough over toward the 7 to get it out. But an easy spare. Look at her. Like it's nothing. 5 frames, 5 spares. That's how it's done. All right, Bree. It's time to get busy. Oh, that looked like a pretty good ball until it hooked right at the end And right through the heart, she leaves the 6-7-10. She almost made the 4-7-10 a little while ago. This is the mirror image. Put the ball over on the right edge of the 6, slide it across, get the 7. That's not going to do it. So that's 7 out, and the lead for Briley grows to 44 pins halfway through the championship match. Now Bree just needs to move her feet left a little bit so that ball won't hook high again. Now once again, that same area, right on the nose. Breaks up the split, leaves just the 6-10. You don't have to be quite as precise with this as you do the 6-7-10, but you still got to get that ball over in that right corner of the lane. And once again, she sends it too wide and into the moat. Yeah, doggone it. So Briley in the driver's seat here with a 56-pin lead. That one doesn't quite get up. But she has been a spare-making machine so far this game. 1-2-4, put the ball on the left side of the head pin. Right on the 1-2. Got a hook. Oh, that was almost the kind of shot that you would send the 2 around the 4, but she gets them all. She looks back at her mom and her grandparents, and yeah, they're giving her some words of encouragement. Well, here we go again over on the left side of the lane. She clips off 3 this time. You know, ordinarily, it would be concerning to lose that many pins in count, but with as big a lead as she has built up, it may not matter. Well, you're not going to make it that way. So her first open frame comes in the 7th, and that actually does tighten the match a bit. 29 pins now. This is not out of the wood now. Brianna needs to string some marks and see what happens. Oh, she gave that one a little extra room. Finds the pocket. Doesn't quite have enough drive to snap out the 10 pin, but a makeable single pin spare. Move all the way to the left. Go cross lane. She needs to make this. Oh, and she hooks by again. Well, that's just tough. I mean, she's not quite to the level yet where she's learned different hand positions. Eventually, she'll learn how to just come up the back of the ball and not put that axis rotation where the ball hooks. Or she'll add a spare ball to her arsenal and it won't matter. She moved left that time. More in the oil, but didn't throw it out far enough to the right, so another split. It's 4 splits so far this game in 8 frames. That's not a recipe for success. This is, though. split the 3 and 10, put the ball on the right side of the 3 and let it do the work. No, it just fell off again. Well, Brianna just seems like she's out of gas, I think. And Briley just has it on cruise control now. Well, I tell you what, she lives out there by the edge. Somebody in the gallery saying, were you worried? Yeah, I was a little worried with that one, but with a 52-pin lead, not that worried. The 1, 2, 4, 7, 9. Put the ball right on the right side of the head pin. Let the ball get the 1 and the 9. The head pin will do the rest of the work for you. Well, she crosses over. Leaves the 9. An open frame. But she still has 41 pins to burn with just 2 frames left. And marks becoming a real precious commodity for both players here at the end. Another pull. Clips off 3. Doesn't lose any count. She wasn't on a spare. If she can make this, she'll really make it difficult for Brianna. If she were to happen to miss this and short count, Bri would have a better chance. But look at this. Look at this. That was big. Because what that means now is Brianna must strike here in the 9th, 10th, and 11th to have any chance at all of winning. So her bid comes up just short, and Briley Walschlager-Motti has won the Division 5 crown here at the 2023 Kansas City Open September Points Tournament. Brianna fought hard, and she had a great showing today for her first tournament ever, but I think she has just run out of gas. Yep, I think that right arm is just plumb tuckered out. She's probably thrown more bowling balls today than she has in one day in her life. 6 games of qualifying. Who knows how many shots she threw in warm-up while she was waiting to come on and bowl in the stepladder. And then 2 matches in the stepladder finals. And that's just a lot of bowling in one day for a young girl or boy who's not used to it. Well, and Brianna's not done yet. She's going to shoot the washout here in the 10th frame. The 1, 2, 10. Here's how you make it. Put the ball right there on the left side of the head pin. Send that 1 pin over into the 10. Yeah, it's going to hook by. Well, 2 marks in the championship match won't get it done, but a 2nd place finish in her first tournament ever? Are you kidding me? For Brianna, she's got to be proud of herself today. So Briley still with a possibility of a 200 game here if she marks. Not that it matters, but I guarantee you these kids are thinking about it. They'd love to get to 200 when they can. And she'll give herself a chance with that spare. I mean, even if it's a handicap score, these kids are always cognizant of the score. 5 pins on the fill ball to get to 200. But I tell you what, she is all smiles now. She knows she's got this one socked away. That's a 201. And Briley Walschlager-Monty shows them all how it's done today. At the KCO September Points Tournament, Briley is the champion in Division 5. We'll meet her next. On this day, all 5 players in the stepladder held their position. They all finished in the same order they qualified. For Brianna Wanina, who admitted to me before she bowled her first match that she was scared. It seemed to me like she just ran out of gas in that last match. For a youngster who's not used to tournament bowling, 6 games of qualifying and then a wait while you throw a bunch more balls to stay loose, and then 2 pressure-packed matches in the stepladder finals, well, that'll do more than test your skill. It'll test your nerves and your endurance, too. But despite a rough finish to her day, Brianna has nothing to be ashamed of. She had a great day on the lanes today and now has a 2nd place finish in her very first tournament. And get a load of little Briley Walschlager-Monty. All she did was qualify in the top spot and then drop a little 201 game on her opponent to cash in on her very first opportunity to taste victory at the KCO. That is some kind of way to introduce yourself to competitive tournament bowling at the Kansas City Open. And not only that, but she now gets to be the first one this season to put her name on the brand new Coveted Trophy Pin. We have a brand new Coveted Trophy Pin for the new season and a brand new champion in Division 5. Is this your first tournament?
Yes.
And you won it.
Yes.
That's amazing. You bowl league here at Olathe Lanes East.
Yes.
On Saturday mornings. And you just showed up at the KCO today and said,
Screw it.
I'm gonna win today.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm just very honored for this champion and stuff. And all
Well,
this.
how'd you do it?
It's just in the hand and the ball. You gotta focus and take deep breaths, and you gotta stand on your mark when you pull.
So what kind of average do you have in league?
127.
That's amazing. Well, I think you were bowling off of the book average, which is like a little lower than that, so you had a lot of handicap, but holy moly, you bowled your heart out today.
I also beat one of my friends, which is also on Saturday leagues.
Yep, 3.
And Joe Anderson.
Yeah, we know Joe. Well, here's the deal. Because you won on Prodigy Bowlers Tour, you get to sign the Coveted Trophy Pin, and you're going to be the first one to sign the new pin this year. And we have a little tradition here that after you sign it, you're eligible for our season-ending Prodigy Tournament of Champions, where the winner of that tournament will win the pin. So that comes up in June. So today, your job is to be as creative as you want. We have a rainbow of colors to choose from. Put your name and today's date on that pin. She's shopping for a pin. Going with the turquoise. We like it.
Can I write my name in cursive?
You can write your name however you normally write your name, or however you want to. And today's date, 9/10/23. You also have the longest last name of anyone we've ever had on the show, so I hope there's room on this
Oh, wait,
empty
I
pin.
have to put this, do I have to put my last name too?
Well, of course. We might have another Briley win. Do you know how to spell it?
Yes.
Okay, good. Well, you're one of the most adorable bowlers we've had on the show, I'll tell you that much.
Wait, say it again.
Huh? The date?
Yeah.
9/10/23.
23.
So congratulations.
Thank you.
You're a champion.
Thank you.
As we mentioned earlier, the kids bowling to our right on lanes 3 and 4 were the finalists in Division 4. And here's how their stepladder played out. In the opening match, the 5 seed Joshua Ellsworth defeated the 4 seed Emma Powers 211 to 176. Next up, Joshua continued his winning ways, downing Kaylin Melvin 207 to 190. But then in the third match, Albert Polly stopped Joshua Ellsworth in a close one, 173 to 165. And that set up the championship match between Albert and the tournament leader, Jade Fleming, who appeared on our first Division 5 show 1 year ago in September 2022. On this day, Jade was up to the challenge as she claimed the title in Division 4 by the narrowest of margins, 150 to 148 over Albert Polly. So congratulations to Jade Fleming of Peculiar, Missouri on her Division 4 title at the 2023 KCO September Points Tournament. Coming up on episode 151, you'll see the Division 1 stepladder finals, and we'll recap the results of the stepladders in Divisions 2 and 3. If you like what we do on Prodigy Bowlers Tour, smash the subscribe button, leave a thumbs up, and drop a comment down below. All those things help us grow the channel, and I really appreciate it. If you'd like to support the work we do with Prodigy, become a Prodigy patron. For just $5 a month, you'll get early access to all our full-length episodes. And for $10 a month, you'll get that, and you'll get your name in the show's end credits as an executive producer. Go to www.patreon.com/Prodigy Bowlers Tour and follow the prompts to become a patron. To keep up with all things Prodigy, join our Facebook group. Type Prodigy Bowlers Tour into the search bar on any Facebook page and hit enter. That'll take you to a page where you can submit a request to join the group. But remember to answer the screening questions if you want to be approved. To learn more about the Kansas City Open or to enter one of their upcoming tournaments, visit their website at www.kansascityopen.com. That's it for this edition of Prodigy Bowlers Tour. Remember, episode 151, the Division 1 stepladder from this same September event, is next on the Prodigy agenda. We'll have that show out in about a week on September 30th. So from Olathe Lanes East, home of the best youth bowling program in the Kansas City Metro, this is Coach Randy, inviting you to join us again next time. In the meantime, stay behind the foul line and keep making your spares. Now, go get your bowl on.